Linux ఇప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేసేది ఓన్లీ 3 క్లాసెస్ అయ్యింది. అందుకే నిన్నే మీకు మొత్తం అంతా ఓవర్వ్యూ ఇచ్చింది. నిన్న క్లాస్ యాక్చువల్గా రెగ్యులర్ క్లాస్ జరగాలి. సో నేను కొత్తగా తిను ఎప్పటి నుంచి ఉండదు 4-5 క్లాసెస్ అటెండ్ అయ్యాడు. అంటే ఏమది నిన్న మొత్తాన్ని సింక్రైజ్ చేసి మీకు మొత్తం నేను చెప్పాను. సో హీ బిలాంగ్స్ టు ఎజ్యూర్. మీరు AWS వర్క్ చేశారు. ఆ అమ్మాయి కూడా మళ్ళీ ఈ రోజు నుంచి రావడం. She did not attend yesterday's class. I asked her to join yesterday's recording share చేసి దాన్ని యూజ్ చేయమని చెప్పాను. What happened, guys? None of you are available online, offline?
I had some work, sir, so I have to stay back.
Maybe and work and busy. Fine. So let's wait for another 5 minutes, please. We just completed the session. I'll just make a small break. We'll start the class in 3:20. Is that fine?
Sure, sir, no problem.
Sure. Good afternoon. Let us start with the session.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. So in today's class, we're going to discuss about one new special topic that is most required and needed to everyone, which is Route 53. So basically, what is Route 53? So what was the major task that we are doing over the cloud? We are trying to deploy applications, whether it might be web application or other resources. The major requirement is to check on with the services, right? So all the web applications that on which the transaction happens basically happen over HTTP port. Am I right? Port. The port number is 80. So if we want to have additional security over HTTP, the port is HTTPS and the port number is 443. I guess everyone are aware of this. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's say we have something called DNS. What is DNS refer to?
Domain name service.
Domain name system. System. What does this domain name system do? So whatever may be the connection that we try to log in, we try to use some name, reference name, and try to get connected to that particular service. Am I right? Let's say, as an example, I want to work on with YouTube or let's say Instagram. So whatever application that is hosted on Instagram is available for us to see. On which browser do we see? On which port? Over the port 80 or port 443, we'll be able to see this particular application. What actually is happening over there? the application has been deployed on some server or some serverless, whatever may be the architecture it is. Okay, and it is hosted over the port number 80. Am I right? Whenever we deploy any application, basically we refer to the port number. So actually, if I try to get connected to Instagram, what happens from my local machine? Okay, I get connected with my local router. From there, it gets connected to the nearby locals and other hubs, router or other hubs, and finally it goes all the connections and finally goes and reach the router that is available near the server where this Instagram is being deployed. Finally reaches the server where Instagram is deployed, and then whatever information is hosted on the port number 80 is being reflected on our server. This is the thing that basically happens, and this transaction is basically working on routes, so they defined it with the name route. Then Y53, code that helps us to do this transaction is 53. So that's how the name of Route 53 has come. And this Route 53 is a service of AWS that helps us to get connected with the domain naming system to whatever may be the AWS resource that we are using. Understood? Guys, are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
So this is about Route 53, how Route 53 has come into existence. And in order to do this task, I mean, let's say I have a website, okay? And let's say example, let's say I have a site which is www.example.com, right? This is the name server that I have purchased from some domain name registry. So whatever information that is hosted on some server, so whenever I type in this, type in this particular server, my browser, so this domain name should be redirecting the content to some other location, which is any other resource, either AWS or other resources. I want the data to be trafficked, and that is done with the help of something called hosted zone. So basically, we define something called hosted zone in our website. So whenever we purchase any domain name, by default, it will have some hosted names referred by that particular domain naming service provider. One of the best available in the market is GoDaddy. They provide domain registrations. So if you want to purchase any domain name or any website name, we purchase it from GoDaddy. We have got Big Rock and other resources similar to that. And even our cloud service providers like AWS, Azure also helps us to purchase the domain names. And these basically, they have predefined name servers, which we call them as hosted zones, that let us to communicate with the resources that we have. So whenever we try to create these resources, let's say, let me go over here. Okay, let me go ahead, check with Route 53. So get started. Whenever I get started with Route 53, what kind of routing am I planning right now is shown in different methods. First thing is, if I want to register for a new domain, like let's say I want to purchase a new website for the website name for myself or the domain name for myself. Okay, I can go ahead register my domain with this particular option. If I want to transfer my domain from one resource to other, okay, then I use this. You can transfer domain names to Route 53 that you registered with another domain registrar. You can do that. Now the other option is it helps us to create hosted zones. So like I said, multiple hosted zones are being created with which we try to access our server. And then if we want to configure health checks to this particular domain name service, we can do that with the help of CloudWatch. We are going to discuss about CloudWatch. We'll complete it in the next class. And let's say we can use Route 53 to control the traffic, what kind of traffic and how you want to go ahead with the traffic, how you want to flow with the traffic, and that traffic part will be discussing using a routing policy. Or else if you have some resolvers, let's say a regional service is readily available, you want to host it internally into your private network like VPC. If you want to have a connections with that, we can use configure resolvers. But right now our intention is to create hosted zones. We can get started by creating hosted zones. So this is one method. Or else if you go ahead with the left panel dashboards, here also you will have the provision. These are the four major parts: DNS management, traffic management, domain registration. You want to register domain, you can do health check monitoring and everything can be done. If you want to check for any domain name, let's say I want to purchase a website which is levelupcloud.com. So all I have to do is to check for its availability. So since it is not available, it is showing me other alternatives that I can choose, and the pricing per year are shown up here. If you want to choose any of them, you can select and acquire it, and it will raise a bill on our account, and we'll go ahead with that. But as of now, I already have a different domain name with me, and I will show you how to get it configured with any website that we trust. So for that, I need to create something called hosted zones.
These domain names will be specific to Amazon only, or
No. It's public. Any website name that you want to purchase, let's say, I will show you. The same thing, GoDaddy. If we have our own website, we can use it. If we want to purchase them from them, also we can do that. Basically, most of the people are aware of this GoDaddy that helps us to purchase domain names. It is similar to the same resource. Same levelupcloud.com. See, it is not available, but there is a broker service that GoDaddy might try to get us this particular product at a better price. They will make a bargaining with the domain owner and try to get it fetched. For that, the brokerage service itself get charges. Alternatives that are available: if you opt for 3 years tenure, you are going to get this particular product for 1 year only, 1 rupee only. So levelup-cloud.com is available at 1 rupee, and see the other services 169, 250, 335, 125. Okay, so these are only for the first year, and again, if you want to get it renewed in the next year, they are going to charge you 4,000 change.
Sir, if suppose we have hosted a website, suppose let the website be like Facebook like that. So after 1 year, after 2 years, it get a huge demand. Like crores of people are using Facebook. At that time, they will change the price. Now they will make the price so high now.
Sometimes it depends upon that, but 90% if you are purchasing it for the initial few years, the pricing would be same.
Okay. Although our
It
website
rarely
became
happens.
so
It rarely
popular also.
happens because of their traffic.
Okay. It is on the traffic, not on the popularity.
Yes, yes, yes. It is controlled by them, and maximum cases we get the pricing to be on the same pricings. Most cases. See here, if you opt it for 3-year plan, they are going to charge you only 1 rupee for the first year, and the remaining 2 years they are charging you 1300 per year. The same rules of practice, right? Whatever the price that we choose, we can. But if at all we see what it was in their under their control, right? So either ways, we are supposed to get committed to that, but that they would not go too big in terms of the prices. Yes. So that's the reason why if someone wants to post any application or any specific things, okay, they either go ahead for 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years plan also is available with them. So according to our requirements, we can choose the term. Okay, let's say for example, let me add this to my cart. See, it would show me the billing amount. So how many years of tenure I want, I can choose that. I can opt directly for 10 years, and the price may go down. So 9% off I'm getting. Altogether for 10 years, they are charging me only 11,692 rupees for this particular domain. So the longer the period, the price would be based on the same resource. Only for the first year, since they have given the option for first year to be 1 rupee, you are getting it a better discount, which is 33% off. For 2 years, yet it is the same price. For 1 year, it is
So for like 10 years or above, if the traffic is heavy, like I took for 10 years, in my second or third year traffic is too heavy, will they again charge us, or like we
See,
have
it
other
depends. As of now, I haven't checked the on the same doubt I have faced, and none of the chances have. See, they might change a little bit of variations beyond the pricing, but not too much.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So let me show you how to create a hosted zone. First, create hosted zone. So what was the domain name for which you want to create the hosted zone? Right now, I already have a domain name, which is bangargoma.com. Okay, let me show you www.bangargoma.com. It is my site. As of now, nothing is hosted over here, but I have a website, and this is from Big Rock Company, from where I have purchased it. So let me log in. Let me go to my iPhone. So this is my website. Okay. Actually, I am having this from the past 10 years, but I haven't done anything. Okay, whatever may be the information that I want to see about this, it is having something called name servers, which is otherwise said to be the hosted zone that we are discussing up in here. So see here, if I click on name servers, I have got 4 hosted zones that are available. I need to change them since these I have purchased this from Big Rock. Basically, it would show from the Big Rock, but previously in previous classes, I have selected this as a hosted zone, so it was showing the hosted zone that belongs to AWS DNS. Okay, let us create some hosted zone up in here. So we need to provide the exact name of our site. This is the name of the domain that you want to route the traffic to. Right, this is my hosted zone. See, remember one thing, this is a chargeable service. They charge you $0.5 somewhere for one hosted zone. So whether you want to have it hosted in a public domain or you want to privately host it for internal purpose only. So internals, let's say, I want to host a website inside my organization. So within the intranet, which is hosted on private zone. So all the servers that are available for me would be in my VPC inside my private network. If that was the case, how do I host it? I can redirect everyone to this particular data and where in which we define the region in which my VPC is available and VPC endpoint according to the region. Let's say if it is Mumbai region, I can choose the VPC that is available, and for this VPC, the data would be trafficked. So right now, my intention is to create a public hosted zone. So I'll be doing the public hosted zone. Create hosted zone. So if we want to describe what is that regarding, we need to describe that over there. So all the details about the name servers have been defined over here. So bangarvoma.com and recording type is simple. Routing is simple routing. I will show you what are all the various kinds of routing policies that are available. And this is the these are the name servers that are available for me to get routed. See, bangarvoma.com was successfully created. Now you can create records in the hosted zone to specify how you want to route 53 to traffic your route to your domain. So let me copy them all one by one and edit one by one. So once I update my name servers, it will help me. But the thing is, you need to remember sometimes they might get updated immediately, sometimes they might not get. It takes minimum of hour to maximum of 72 hours to get it updated. Okay. So now I have my hosted zones been edited, right? So let me go ahead. I don't require this anymore. Let me sign out. So if I check on with this, so why do I require this hosted zone? If I have the hosted zones from them, Amazon directly, then it might, the traffic might be with so I have created a hosted zone. So the thing is, the hosting is being controlled by AWS. The hosted names have been controlled by AWS. Now I want to create something. Let's say, let me create a EC2 instance and make it to be a web server, and let us try to host that over here on my website. Okay. So we have various methods. I can use EC2 instance. I can host EC2 instance. I can use S3 static bucket. I can host S3 static bucket also to my website. We have understood about load balancer with auto scaling. We have the DNS for the load balancer. We can use that. If not, we have learned about CloudFront. So the CloudFront service is also having some DNS. We can use either of these AWS resources to get our traffic routed. Okay. Right now, I think I already have a server. I have a Linux server. Let me get connected to it. So this is Amazon Linux. So how do I make it a web server? So yum get yum install httpd y www/www/html/index.html. I'm hosting a site. Go to insert mode. Is the server launch to host domain www. I just defined this. Right? So I need to see whether my EC2 instance has its security group having HTTP and HTTPS ports open. I do not have them open, so I need to open HTTP and HTTPS. Save rules. Okay, go to my instance. Class 10 minutes. Copy my public IP, paste it in the browser. Why is it not? Can someone say why I'm unable to do this? Aravind, Jitendra, Shravani, Vijay.
Yes,
What
sir.
was the reason my server is not up and running?
Sir, security settings may be the problem, sir.
Huh?
Security settings.
Security group, I have checked it. It's working fine. Aravind, give it a try. Raise your hand. What is it about? Aravind, unmute yourself and speak. So the reason behind this is I haven't started the service of HTTPD. System CTL status HTTPD. My service is not started. I need to start this service. Then only I will be able to see that website up and running. Now let me refresh. See, I have my domain name posted on this particular IP address. Okay. Let me now. I want to route this information to site that is bangargoma.com. So I have hosted this hosted zone. Now all I have to do is to create a record. So creating a record help me to traffic my data. So for what are the resources that we have? Let's say right now, whatever the subdomain that I am going to use for this bangargoma.com, let's say I am using www. If someone tries www.bangargoma.com, then it should redirect my traffic to this particular web server that I already have, to this particular IP address, right? So I'm defining the record name. Here we have got record types of different types in nature. See, first one, A, is used for trafficking the routing the traffic to IPv4 address or some AWS resources. AAA is for IPv6 and AWS resources. CNAME is used to traffic to another domain and to some AWS resources. MX is to traffic the data to mail servers. Text is to verify email address and application specific values. For mapping an IP address, we use PTR. We majorly don't use all these things. We basically work with either A or CNAME. So right now I'm using A kind of record traffic my data to IP address that I have. So we have something called alias. Alias will also help me to choose other alternatives that are available. Let's say if I want the data to be transferred other than to IP address, I want to transfer to cloud distribution or any other AWS services like Elastic Beanstalk, CloudFront, Classic Load Balancer, Network Load Balancer, S3 Static Web Host, or VPC endpoint. Any kind of resource, if I want to get it done, I can do that right now. My intention is to check on with the IP address. What was the IP address that I have? Copy the IP address. And define it over here. So what was the maximum time to live is 300 seconds. And we have got various things of routing policies. Guys, someone is on unmute state, Jitendra. So we have something called routing policy. How do you want the data to be routed? So by default, we have selected simple routing. So let me share some other screen. So these are the various routing policies. This is from the AWS documentation. So see, the first option is simple routing policy. So we use simple routing policy to perform any given function of your domain. Let's say a web server that serves the content that is available for us. We can use that in the private hosting also. Let's say if anything wrong goes, if I want to route the traffic, if at all any failure happens, for that I use failover routing policy. I want to route the traffic to location of the user. Let's say in my example, some people, okay, let's say we have Amazon.com, consider the Flipkart as an example. So Flipkart would be used by people from various locations throughout the world. Let's say some guy from USA is trying to access Flipkart. So what happens? According to the nearby hosted zone, it should get the data routed from there. So geolocation routing policy works in that scenario, where it helps you to route traffic based on the location of the users. The same thing, geo proximity routing policy also works on the basis, same thing, where the location of your resources. See, it is basically previously it is based on the location of the users, and the traffic is based on the location of the resources. Let's say I'm trying to use some AWS service, like creating some resource. For example, I'm creating some compute optimized instance, and that instance is not available in India. Let's say it is available from USA. North Virginia. So if I want to get communicated with it, the data might be required to be trafficked to that particular location where my resource is available. Such scenarios we use geo proximity routing policy. Latency. So when you have a application which is used globally and you have your resources available across the globe, and whichever area you have low latency, that means wherever the latency is best, so the data would be trafficked to that particular hosted zone. That would be done with the help of latency routing policy. IP-based routing is what we are trying to do, and this is also based on the location of the user. So multi-value answer routing, if at all we want to define some queries based on DNS queries for up to 8 health records selected at random, we can do that with the multi-value answering routing policy. And last but not the least, which is weighted routing policy, according to the proportions, right? The data traffic that we are receiving. Let's say if at all I get some traffic, out of which I want 10% of the traffic to be sent to one region and other 90% I want traffic to some other region. I can do that with the help of weighted routing policy. The weightage, according to the weightage of the data, I can make the transitions, and all these things are defined in the routing policy, where whichever routing policy we want, we'll be defining it, and we are using simple routing policy. If I want to define another record also, I can defining along with this. So create records. So it will create a record, and a record for Bangar Boma is successfully done. Route 53 propagates your changes to all the Route 53 authoritative DNS servers within 30 seconds. To see the status, you can click on the propagation status, view status. See, the status is pending. Just wait for a few seconds. So it is in sync. 90% it will be working, but if not, see, my website has been hosted. See, bangaraboma.com, and this is the server that is launched. Please try, all of you, try to get connected with this particular website and see whether you are able to see this or not. The name of the website is www.bangaraboma.com. Please let me know once you are done with it. Meanwhile, let me create one S3 static web hosting and try to route that also. I'll show you how to do that. But while creating a bucket, you should make sure that you are providing the same name for the domain name. Same name as the domain name in your bucket name. That would be always preferred. .com is enable, owner only is preferred. I should remove the public access because I want to enable advanced settings. Object lock is disabled. Create bucket. So I have my bucket. I want to add some files into my bucket. Upload. Add files. Upload. Right, destination is fine. Permissions. I want to give, like right now I'm not keeping private, I'm keeping public access so that I can host my website. Are you guys able to see that website?
Not able to access this.
Hmm?
Is that right one which I've shared in the chat? Can you check on this?
Wait, let me check it out.
Yeah, boom. That's my spelling bad.
BOMME.
That's what. Still, it's not working.
Others? Working, fine, super. So I have successfully updated my data over here. Close.
Sir, will it have both read write access when we are routing in this way?
Right access? No, we do not.
Okay, it will be only read, right?
Yes.
I mean, for any inputs that if, for example, if we have any forms on the website hosted,
Okay. That
will
part
that
we
be
can upload static web hosting can be done. So that sorry, dynamic website can be done.
okay?
Sir, if you want to host any website, in GoDaddy, it used to be free for 45 days, I think.
I am not sure. I haven't checked with that. See, some websites they provide the hosting services also. Some websites they provide only that they helps us to build our own web. Builders will be available as free. End of the time, you need to purchase the space from them for hosting your website. So right now I have created a packet. I have made static web hosting to be available. So this is my Carvilla website that is hosted on my S3 static web hosting. Okay. Now let me try. Go back to my hosted zone. Now let me create a new record. So here I'm defining the subdomain to be triplets.bangarabomma.com. Same alias where I am taking alias as static website from S3. And where is this located in S3? Wait. This S3 is located in North Virginia region. Right? So North Virginia region. So S3 static website. Okay, I'm trafficking the route. So let me create record for this. Sources found. Okay. It is not taking it from here. Let me go to CNAME. Okay. Here I can define my static web host. and create records. Or else I can go for alias, and here also I can use another hosted one. So let me go ahead with the DNS name for my SQL host. So create static, wait, take 60 seconds, view status. So it is in sync. Now let me check with the same website, but the domain name is, the subdomain name is sss.bangargomma. So no such bucket. Okay, I made a mistake up in here. The name of the bucket is defined as www.bangargomma.com. So it tried to search for sss.bangargomma.com. So that was a mistake that I have done. So wait, let me delete the existing record and create a new record. It should not give me a clash, before which I need to remove the A type record. Delete the record. Okay, that record has been deleted. I want to edit this. Save. Again, we need to wait for another 60 seconds. I'm closing this window. It's my previous one. It is still pending. It is in sync. Let me go ahead and search for my website again. See, I have my website coming up. Please try it out. Others, check on with the site once again. Are you able to see the new website of Carvilla?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is how we route the traffic across various AWS services. So now we are at
Sir, one
to,
quick question. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Did we give any, authentication or permissions to access this domain, sir? Because anyone can give that. Did we do any anywhere?
see, this is a public hosting, right? So
This
whatever
is
hosting that I have done is public, so everyone can view it.
no,
So
no,
what
no.
kind of permissions
What I
are
mean
you?
to say is, if at all I have my own, even I can use this domain, right?
Yes.
That
No,
restrictions.
my domain name. No, it is not possible. I have my own credentials with me, not with you.
Where did we give that credentials? I forgot. I think.
See, the thing is, I have my website. Okay, you missed the initial part, it seems. So, initially, when we chose Route 53, what did we do? We created something called hosted zones,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
When you created some hosted zones, we get some name servers which are being defined by AWS. These are the name services. All we have to do is we need to log into our website and change the name servers over there with the name servers that we have.
Okay, okay. In your website, you have given all these name servers.
Yes. In
Okay.
my website, wherever I purchase, in that I need to go into my website settings and then I need to change the hosted zones over there. So
Understood.
whenever any traffic comes, whenever anyone try to communicate with my website, with the help of these hosted zones, I get the data traffic over here.
Got it. Yes.
You got that?
Yes.
So with the help of records, to whichever record we want to send the data is defined over there. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Others understood? This is a chargeable service. Please do remember that. And once you create one hosted zone, it will be available for next 1 month. It will be of the same charge. I mean, till the end of the month, you will have it under the same pricing. The billing is for 1 month, right? So till the end of the month, I can use the same route table. I mean, same hosted zone for different applications also. I mean, for practice purpose or anything. So if we get the hosted zone for one time, that's it. We can they charge you only once for hosted zone creation. Again, if I create another hosted zone, again I'll be charged for that also. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? If you have any doubts, please do let me know so that I can wind the session. Okay, then I assume that no one has any doubts. So let me end the session up in here. Thank you very much for joining the session. So once you are done with it, try to delete the records and then delete your hosted zones also. Okay. So now let me delete the record. But luckily it was happened in the same day. Previously it usually used to take 24 to 48 hours to get this record, I mean hosted zone updated. Okay, then thank you very much, guys, for joining the session. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, whatever you are telling, I am able to practice.
Yes.
I'm able to like do myself by own, and I'm able to like do the task also. But the thing is, if I want to attend an interview, I don't think like is this sufficient. I have to answer many questions. They
See,
ask
most
us.
questions that would be asked were based on the practice levels only. Theoretical part everywhere, whatever may be the resource that you want to learn, okay, most of the theory part is available on AWS documentation. Let's say you want to know more details about AWS in terms of EC2 instance. Let's say AWS docs and followed by whichever resource that you want, you just type in the resource. Let's say if it is EC2 instance, you have the documentation available. So you have abundant information that is readily available over there on AWS website itself. But major cases, everyone usually, no one worries about the theoretical part. Only few companies, if they are working as a fresher, they might ask you. But most of the cases, all the questions that would be asked were based on your practice only. How you get resources created, what are the various locations where you get failure, what they ask you based on scenario based questions, and they will ask you on what kind of projects you have worked and how did you go ahead with those projects and all the things. And my suggestion, never say that. I mean, if you are focusing as if you are having some experience 1 year, 2 years or 3 years, never say that you have worked with Route 53. Because they would never let us to do the task. It would be done by the senior level as well as or architect level. They will take care of this particular routing. But you can say that we have, I mean, you know about the routing things and routing policies as you have seen your senior working on them and you accompanied them while creating the resource and so. You can say things like that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it.
In real time, never say that you have really worked on it, and just spontaneously they would say you are rejected.
Okay.
Well, that particular Route 53, only for Route 53, it is done at a senior level. But you need to
Because we
understand
have
how
to
things
post the
happen. That is the reason.
because that is the deployment now, sir. That is that the
Yes,
reason?
that part is majorly working with the deployment things, and it would be taken care by the architects and senior DevOps engineers. So never say that particular thing that you have known the Route 53, and say them that you know how to do deal with Route 53, and so that's it. Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine then. Any other doubts? Okay then. Let's assume that none of you have any other doubts. Thank you very much for joining the session. Have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.